Welcome back to Taiwan is Helping on ICRT FM 100. I'm Ryan Drillsma, and today's interview is a little bit different because I'm doing it from the comfort of my own home. ICRT. We're going to talk about how Taiwan is assisting other countries abroad, particularly those in Latin America and the Caribbean. And today I'm talking to the founder of the Simply Help Foundation, Tina Bo. Tina, how are you today?
Good. How are you? How's everybody in the radio station?
Everybody is doing the best they can to deal with the current situation. So Simply Help is a charitable foundation, and the work it does is very wide-ranging. So it'd be impossible to talk about everything your organization does. However, I thought you could start by giving us and our listeners and viewers an insight into your story, a brief introduction into how the organization was founded and its mission objectives.
About 22 years ago, quite a long time ago, and why Asian Taiwanese come to United States, work hard, try to make a living. So most of the time you work so hard, try to make the money. After a while, and feel like empty. You feel like money cannot make you happy for a second. For a week, but it's not make you satisfaction. So I just started by going to the border, Tijuana, nearby the California, going to distribute the poor people over there in the orphanage, visit the villages, start to give stuff away to them, and I feel the joy inside of me. So I think it's better by car, This is the better, that's lasting, it's joy. It gives me smile. So I start that road until right now, about 22 years. And we started to have, I feel like it's by, just started with changing life one heart at a time, that philosophy. And we ever started to with vocational school, give youth a skill, send a container to the third world country, about 35 different countries in 22 years, 400 containers of the goods, clothes, shoes, all the stuff to the disaster country or country in the need help. And then when we go to distribution, we find a lot of elderly on the street. So we started with senior center in El Salvador because after the earthquake. So every project is by when we meet and see and do it.
As far as I'm aware, and as you've mentioned, Simply Help's work can be broken down into three broad categories: vocational training, the establishment and management of senior centers, and disaster relief work. If we could start with vocational training, how does this take place? Where are the centers and what kind of training does Simply Help offer?
In the beginning, we start with Cambodia. We went there 2001, we set up a computer school in the Phnom Penh, the capital. So the school is only for people who really want to learn. 3 months, very serious class for the people in need. And then countryside will have vocational school for sewing class, give women a skill, stay home, and they can make clothes from one fabric. So the thing is, giving them some skill they can change their life with in 3 short time, 3 months. And then we spent it 10 different provinces in the Cambodia, from each province, teach all the kids, all the women. And then we have, and then we move on to El Salvador with a vocational school, beauty, nail class, and hairdresser class, and the different cultural. In each other country, we talk with the mayor, which skill can give a woman in 3 months find a job locally. So we have different kind of class in El Salvador, like hotel management, repair computer, or doing the handcraft school. So different skill in the class. But right now we're more focused on computer program. And like every container we ship out, we have set up a computer class. 10 computer, 10 monitor. So I talked to the local. I want to set up computer school. Can you help us? During the some of the in the Burma, we have worked with the temple. In the Nicaragua, we have worked with the different school district education department. And just last week, we opened 5 school computer program, which was successful in Nicaragua because in the high mountain, the kids never touched the computer. Then all of a sudden they're excited. And then when I revisit in the class, they have skill like short film competition with Germany. I was so shocked. I mean, I don't know anything about how to do the short film, but the kids, I think the computer give them so much potential. So that's my goal this year. Whenever container go, I want to do the school. Even domestic homeless shelter. When I visit, give a distribution in the U.S. Homeless shelter, I notice everybody watching TV. Sit there watching TV. So I talked to the manager. Can we set up the computers program in your shelter? So they, yeah, sure. So we are just focus helping them. They can apply the job skill. They can learn how to fill the job application, basic. So that's we want to focus this year.
So there's obviously a lot of different skills that you help teach people in different places. Who do you bring in to teach people these skills? I know you said you have communication with the different governments in different countries, but who is it that teaches the people the skills?
In the Cambodia, we have the temple group. It's a Japanese group of Buddhism. So we work with the temple, and they find a teacher. They find a skillful different computer teacher from the beginning, medium, and high class. So locally over there, and then El Salvador, I work with Donna Ellie. It's a organization, NGO, local NGO. I work with them because they know what kind of job will be needed locally. And they work with a lot of salon and hotel. So we work with them to know what we really need. And then they hire the teacher. We provide the equipment. And Cambodia, we provide the teachers money every month, provide the teacher. And Nicaragua, because we work with the education department, basically the mayor pay for the air condition. The school pay for the table, desk, extra room, and then the education department pay for the teacher. So we work with the team.
One of the personal stories on your website is from a man called Vladimir who went through the vocational program and now owns a bakery and is paying forward the help that you offered him. Do you find a lot of your graduates go on to do this? And do you have any more examples?
Yes. Every time when I go to, that's why I missed the graduation. The pandemic, I stayed in the United States. I cannot travel. For the education, they're always tearful, the classroom, everybody have a story. They tell me, so it's like listening, and because they have a translator tell me what's going on. They speak the Spanish. So it's so many touching stories. Like the Cambodia, the mother, because in early time, women, the status very low. Because the men find a job, men make the money in the farm. The women stay home watching the kids, and then the girls don't have a right to go to school because they have to watch the baby. When the boys go to school. So when we give the skill for the women to make clothes in her house, she opened a store in her home, and she started making money, make fashion, make the used clothes become new fashion. She had a voice, and I went to see her a couple years later. I saw the daughter wear a bag, school bag, go to school. And I saw her and they graduate from the college. I love that because I saw their growth. And it changed your life, changed the community. Once we finish every woman in that village, we move on to the next village. We give enough time to educate all the women in that village. So give the women the power. In El Salvador, we give them a skill for the salon and nail, and the same in sewing classes too. So they are working at home and making money. So they can afford education for their kids to go to school. So, I mean, it's amazing when everyone tell me the story, and then I really realize I like it, what I'm doing.
Okay, could you talk a little about the senior centers that you've opened in El Salvador and Panama?
Oh, in 2021, a big earthquake in El Salvador. So went to disaster relief goods, send a container over there. And then we went to distribution. And then we send a couple containers, distribute a lot of stuff for the victim of the disaster relief. And all notice everybody leave except elderly on the street. So I asked the pastor, because I work with the local church for distribution of disaster relief. So they told me the elderly have no home. I said, how come? I mean, they have kids, right? I mean, Latin American, like Asian, they're taking care of their parents when they're getting old. Why they not going home? Oh, their kids die or early, or they don't have, or the family, something like that. So I say, okay, let's build a senior center. I never know senior center. I don't know how difficult. In my mind, I'm thinking, just build a house, right? And that's it. So I built 10 room for the senior, and it right away filled up so fast. And then I didn't know, every year when I go there, the food money, repair, maintenance, roof leaking, bed, and the wheelchair, it's on and on. And then I started to it's about 20 years, I mean 2020, yeah, pretty much doing that for a long time. And then now we have 130 seniors living in our 5 shelter, one after another. Because one filled up, we build a second one, another filled up, build another second one. And the thing is, I was filled up. Too many people come to our shelter because we don't ask for people money, just for free. And then church member become volunteers, so we pay them basic, very small amount of money. We wire the money to the church to support them. And every month, food and container of the goods give it to them. So I tell the pastor, can we not accept more people, because we are full already? I cannot open another one. And then they say, no, we cannot, because the police drop off the homeless senior in front of our shelter. We have to accept it because they don't have, they have paid senior center. They don't have free senior center in El Salvador. Even that, I talked to the first lady. I say, I've been working this project for a long time. Why don't you build up more senior center for your country? Because a lot of seniors obviously need it. They say we have one, but we want to focus in youth education. So they want to turn me into the youth program. And I say no, because I committed with my seniors. So I just continue doing that.
Do you have plans to build any more?
Well, if it's full, we just have to. I mean, right now we're 130, kind of maximum right now. And then because hospital, they give people the medicine or fix their diseases. But after a while, the final stage, they will kick them out, basically. So when they kick out from the hospital, the police will drop them off in our center in front. And then most of the seniors come to our shelter average 3 to 6 months were gone. Basically it's a transition from the living to death, and give them care before they die. And we have funeral service for them. Just give them a decency as a human being. So far we have 5. So until the pastor will tell me we are full, and we need another location.
Okay. Now, the pandemic has affected us all and has no doubt been a hindrance to the operations of Simply Help as well. But it's also created more need for international cooperation, as well as donations of medical equipment and other related things. Can you talk about how you've helped those in need during these times?
We didn't stop. Actually, last year and this year we're super busy because not only U.S. domestic need help. Internationally, we send 15 container, 40-foot container to 15 different countries last year. And this year, before April, right now we're May, right? May. We already sent 10 containers already. And plus, this month we're gonna send another 10, 4 to India, and 2 to Somalia, Africa, 3 to St. Vincent, 1 to Honduras, just for disaster relief. We sent the last 10 container is closed. It's a regular container for poverty, but this 10 container just for disaster relief. All the PPE, mask, and the hand sanitizer, alcohol wipes, and KN95, fabric mask. Everything is PPE. This container we prepare 10 container go out this month. So we are May 20th, pretty much the end of the month. We are 10 container go out. So we didn't stop this. We are actually super busy, but we make sure our volunteer is safety in good shape. And in the domestic, we send a homeless shelter, only drop off on the curbside. And we drop out their PPE supplies and the wipes, or what necessity they need. It's different. Before we give distribution. Right now, pandemic, we give out at curbside. Yeah. Okay.
How has the Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs been able to assist your work?
They are helping us freight, the container cost and the freight money. And we collect donations locally in the United States for all the business people and people who know us in 22 years. And then locally, they know like a Somalian, they know the Somalia NGO, they know the Nicaragua emergency department, they know the Honduras COPACO, emergency disaster relief department. So basically, they help us locally to clear the custom, to make sure connected with NGO locally or who are handling the disaster relief goods. So make sure container arrive there safe and a clear custom and distribution. So it's big help for us because we cannot go there every country.
Of course, yeah. So it's more helping you establish connections with local organizations.
Right, 32 different countries. So it's like a lot of manpower.
So I know in 2005, the UN ECOSOC opened the doors for consultations with Simply Help. How has this brought about positive changes for your organization?
I bring my youth volunteer to the United Nations in New York, and then they joined a lot of seminar with a lot of NGO network together. So I think I would say majority of my volunteer after graduate, they are in the charity world. Some people working for different charity organizations because our organization is no pay. The young people need to get paid and the good get achieved. So they work for the big charity organization like Bill Gates Foundation. I know some of my volunteers go there, and big other foundation. I like to give youth a lot of opportunity, go to the charity world internationally. So this is a big door for my volunteer, for my local LA volunteer your youth want to go to this area.
Okay. Finally, obviously, you've got your hands full with the pandemic at the moment, but do you have any other plans for Simply Help for the future?
I think computer school is my focus education for my this year and going on forward. And I think we'll give them and make sure disaster relief too. I will prepare disaster relief goods aside, just in case. I'm not wishing for disaster, but it's just make sure I'll be the first being there and to give a hand, because all my volunteers, they give money and they give their time to work, and same like my senior center too. And because my parents in Taiwan long time ago, and I don't have a chance to one day alive to be with them. That's my purpose of the senior center. I want to serve others' parents because I don't have opportunity to serve my parents, to taking care of them. So this is my dream to, if I can do to help other people's parents. I think my parents will be happy when I'm doing that.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you again, Tina Bo, for speaking to us today. Tina of the Simply Help Foundation. It's been lovely speaking to you, and I wish you all the best with your work now and in the future.
Thank you so much.